Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Claws and Fangs and Revolvers, our Wild West werewolf campaign. I am the Red Nose Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. And last we left off with our group, we opened up with Walks with Spirits, keeping an eye on the Iron Rider's grave, just to make sure that he had returned to the Great Wheel and that nothing had claimed his body. We were introduced to calls to fire, a red talon hub on the verge of becoming a Cleath who was looking for help, and the group ended up leaving Artis at the church while they investigated the situation. They did see a pillar of black smoke in the distance and decided to turn back around to put out the fire that Pepe had started. But when they learned that the trouble in the north was dealing with a trout spirit, they kind of split up. They let Pepe clean up his own mess by himself, while Kora and Walks with Spirits kind of went off to help calls to fire. In the north, the pack found a small lake, and to one side they found the collection of felled logs that were creating a dam, kind of man-made tributary leading off to some hills. It is also where calls pointed out that the spirit needed assistance, and after using the water to kind of help them step sideways into the Umbra, they saw that there was a trout spirit that had been caught up in the dam and was starting to be claimed by the Weaver. They saw that there were some trout splashing on either side of the dam, with more on the lake side than the tributary side. Excuse me. And they also saw that some of the trout's scales had shifted from rounded edges to more geometric shapes, as the Weaver claimed more and more of it. On the other side of the river, as Pepe went to go clean up his mess, he noticed that he was being followed by a coyote. The coyote mimicked him and took the name Caballero for himself after being called that by Pepe. And we got to learn that our Onar is learned in some of the myths of the Thera, and he did learn that there were at one point were-coyotes, or Nuisha, as they like to be called. They were supposed to have been killed off during the War of Rage. There was a nice little moment of doublespeak about a trap, and after a bit, the coyote did shift into a human male who ended up reprimanding him for having just left a fire undealt with. And after seeing that it had been put out, Pepe quickly raced over to help his pack. Walks with Spirits and Kora came up with a plan to deal with the trout spirit by moving the logs. And as they came up on the dam, they saw that the river trailed off to an undeclared mining tunnel. They could see that the dam was built to catch fish and that some of the carcasses were strewn about. They all shifted into their Hispo form to destroy the dam, but they saw the trout manifest itself as a half spider, half fish hybrid that started to attack them. And they got to see the birth of a stormborn creature. They initiated the fight, and as Walks with Spirits saw Pepe going towards the cave with the coyote, he went over there, leaving the red talon and their Arun to fight off the fish. They found 3 humans that were sleeping in the cave, and immediately Walks with Spirits descended on them and started to do what the werewolves were used to doing a long time ago before the War of Rage, which is cull the herd. A nice moment where Pepe tried to discourage the action of just killing these humans that weren't aggressive, that couldn't fight back. And one of the best lines that any Theurge Wendigo has ever uttered was said out loud, which is, "This isn't vengeance, this is maintenance." And they ended up killing the 3 humans, and once the 3rd human was killed, the Stormborn creature released its grip on the trout, the trout ended up vanishing back into the Umbra. And as they came back to the city, or rather, right before they left, the coyote warned Kora about a black-haired woman before disappearing on them. And they got to see some of Calls to Fire's kinfolk come back and show their appreciation. And then we got to see a nice moment as Pepe found some of the gold dust that that the humans had discovered in the cave and just tossed it into the earth again before they collapsed the tunnel. And we left off with them picking up Artis and headed back to the Gilded Apple. We're going to find our group. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
One less Kora. Excuse me. As trouble has called her away. But if there is no urgency or any pressing matters to attend to, I think it is safe for us to jump from Sunday to Thursday, unless somebody has something to do within those 4 days.
I don't think there's church within those 4 days, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
Pepe probably
Walks of
just.
Spirit. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Walks of Spirits was just going to continue guarding the tomb to complete the 1 month.
Okay.
Since he died.
And what is
Make
Pepe
sure.
doing?
What's what?
What is Pepe doing?
Oh, Pepe was probably sleeping most of the time in the inn. He came down every now and then to eat, went back up, and probably is getting close to that time where it's bath time.
It's almost.
Has it almost been a week since your last bath?
I mean, you gave him a bath on Sunday. It is now Thursday, so yeah.
So, at what point can artists start smelling Pepe?
Oh, about this time.
Awesome. So this is the day where, I very politely wear a little bit extra perfume.
Okay.
Coyote did say the bathing was a trap, though, so you might want to be careful.
He did.
The coyote said the bathing was a trap?
Yeah, he told me it was a trap.
They did share a moment.
I'm surrounded by traps, apparently.
Apparently.
And the bath is the biggest one.
So your group will have gotten a messenger, probably a spirit, that was sent out to Walks, since that's the easiest person to get to inconspicuously. Thursday is a moot day. The Cairn is gathering for its new moon moot. So ragabashes are going to be celebrated a little bit more. Yeah. Enjoy it. Excuse me. So you know that the cycle is starting all over again. You have come into the new moon. The next moon coming up is the crescent waxing. So they have asked you to gather your pack and to come out to the cairn on Thursday, and to have your Galliard prepped for the moot, since it is time to hear about any of the exploits that your pack has been living, and what you have done to protect your domain, as renown is going to be distributed.
This makes, once Artis realizes that's the situation, she's very visibly shaken, but also super peppy and overly, I know she's very positive, but more positive than she has been.
Okay.
to cover up for the fact that she's shitting herself.
Okay.
And I'm
y-
assuming that she's doing this without Kora
correct.
as well. Yeah.
Kora has been called off. She is following a lead about this black-haired woman.
Mm-hmm.
So far, the group has pushed the large Texas tarantulas further east. The trout spirit has been released. The question now becomes, are these two disparate events, or is the connection to the Weaver enough to bind them together in your mentalities? Is that even something that you have thought about or brought to the table? But you do have, from Monday to Thursday to kind of come together, set aside what stories you want to tell, what facts you might want to leave out. Do you want to leave out anything?
Well, I think. Well, I'll definitely leave out the part of the fire. That part I'll leave out. She
Did
would definitely ask.
did Pepe relay his encounter with the Nuisha to the group?
Mm,
Because Kora and Walks only saw the coyote.
yeah.
Well,
Nah,
I did talk to the coyote.
Correct. But you're also a Thier.
He's the one who told me to go to the cave and
Yeah.
kill them.
Probably on the way back, I can
Yeah.
see Pepe probably telling.
Yeah.
Probably telling Kora and Walks with Spirits, like, as we head back into town, like, yeah, so he'll be exaggerating, like, yeah, I met this coyote, started talking to me, and then he had me fall down flat on my face, and we had a conversation. He's my new amigo, pretty much, along those lines.
And this is imperative to
But
tell.
I just want to know if he told you about the fact that there is a were-coyote in the area.
I don't know. I guess I haven't heard. I mean, I really wouldn't know anything because I was in church, right?
Correct.
This whole
So
time.
that's why I'm also asking, like, what do they tell you?
What do you tell me?
I don't know if I would have told Artist, because by the time we meet her, my focus is no longer on the coyote, and I probably left out that the coyote turned into someone. I just kept it as a coyote did all these things,
Okay.
like apparently had me trip on my own boots, like laces tied or some shit. Got the vines, like, very clever, creative coyote. Much better. But I don't think I would have told Artist, because by the time we probably met up with her, I probably would have forgotten.
Okay.
Hype is gone.
Hype is gone.
So I know nothing about that.
No.
I would have mentioned, though, that the coyote is who guided me towards knowing that killing the people would end the taint.
Okay.
Would end the Weaver's works.
Yeah. So Artist would have been told that at least somebody had an interaction with a coyote. I'm assuming Kora would have told you about the trout spirit and what happened to it with the Weaver. You were there for the spiders.
Yeah.
At the cave. And you've been there for everything else that's happened. So
Just not the trout spirit.
It's not the trout spirit. Or the death of the 3 sleeping humans. And you said that Walks did tell her about killing them.
It's a very auspicious thing. That's Nape, the old man. It's the coyote is the the wise one with the sun in my dreams. And so his wisdom was imparted to me and helped us end the battle.
With 3 sleeping humans?
They were the ones who brought about the Weaver's taint in the lake.
I'll probably leave out the part where I shot one of them.
They're filled with bane.
Well, that hype is definitely gone for you.
So what?
So that hype is definitely gone for Pepe.
I probably wouldn't bring that up that I shot someone.
Oh, okay. So that's by choice.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Though it was pretty epic how I did that quick.
Yeah.
I don't want a reputation going around that, you know.
Okay.
Let somebody foolish try to me to do a gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
So Artis is like counting on her fingers the things that she's going to say.
Mhm.
And she's going to say to both you, Watson and Pepe, probably at the Gilded Apple, we protected the town from those tarantulas.
Okay.
We set the trout spirit free, and then we killed humans.
D, C, and C.
The killing was to set the trout spirit free.
To set.
It was not for its own merit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I-
We didn't. I mean, and I look around. It's not like we killed these people just for nothing, you know.
No. I didn't know. I just needed to be clear since I'm the one that's going to be in front of everybody. Telling them that we. Yeah.
You got this. You can do this.
What about the fire, though?
What fire?
Fire.
We met our friend who's most likely going to be at the moot. Call to fire.
Call to fire. Yes. Yes. He was
It would be
helping.
a slight to leave him out of the story.
I really don't know him, so.
So we don't call him to fire?
No, that's his name. But I said hi and then bye.
A red tail and Ragabash calls to fire.
Oh.
We hadn't met him before, but he guided us to a fire. Guided
went
Pepe.
to a fire with called to fire.
No.
He did.
No. He told us about
Come
the fire.
to spirits, walks with spirits.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Call to fire is his name.
And you went.
I had the same mistake. Okay.
Artist does not want to be wrong, and she continues being wrong. So she's just like, and we're. I mentioned this or I don't mention this. She has her just holding her forth.
Don't mention the fire. Don't mention the fire, but mention call to fire.
Don't mention the fire, but mention the fire.
No, don't mention the fire, but mention call to fire. Call to fire you can talk about, but don't talk about the fire
that we were called to.
Artist is perspiring.
Because call to fire called me to take care of this fire, but don't talk about that part. Talk about call to fire.
There is as you're trying to clarify the situation for Artist, there's just the call back to the double talk that you had with the coyote, and there's just this moment. Give me a rage roll, please, Pepe.
A rage?
Mm-hmm.
A rage roll?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you only have one rage. Should be fine.
Yeah. 6.
Okay. The the whole memory of you going back and being
It's a
kind
fun
of
time.
given the runaround by the coyote, it stirs you a little bit inside, and a regular guru might have flown off the handle as you find yourself in the position where now you're the coyote to Artis's Pepe. Uh, but you just don't have that kind of anger in you.
Not with artists.
No, especially not with Artis. No.
Not
She
with
can't see it, but she feels it.
Oh, she
Not
feels
with,
something.
not with artists. I'd just have some bacon, Chica, here, and I give her some bacon.
Okay. Pocket bacon.
This
You-
is good. It's good bacon.
It's 4 p.m. Where did you get this?
Pocket.
In my pocket.
In your pocket. She
What?
panics. She
I-
takes the cold, like wet, slimy pocket bacon
Mhm.
and goes, "Thank you. I will also save this for later." And she like tries not to cringe and puts it in her own pocket.
but this thing, I'm telling you, bacon lasts for days. Really good, nice and crispy. Sometimes soggy, depending.
Are
Depending.
you still have more in your pockets? I don't want any. I excuse me.
think do you want some walks?
No. Oh.
Well,
You
thank
got
you.
more if you want, August.
No, I'm quite all right. I just wanted to know.
We're gonna need to stock up again soon, though.
Perhaps you can try something like dried goods or jerky or bread instead of bacon in your
But
pocket.
the bacon's like a jerky. I don't recommend los huevos though. No. The huevos, it makes a mess in the pocket. I wouldn't recommend that. But
I
bacon, it's like jerky. Especially if you leave it out in the sun a little bit. Sometimes it dries up. Eat it. Mwah.
Artist has that
It will last for days.
like calculation meme, like
Mhm.
calculating in her head.
Numbers.
Yeah, because she's like, smell of not bath plus pocket bacon equals Pepe smell.
Oh yeah.
Pepe smells now, yeah, like a wet dog almost, and yeah, the smell of bacon, days old bacon.
She takes out like her little essential oil in a little thingy just to like dab it on her wrists, and she very slyly puts it together and takes a very deep breath with her hands on her face. All right. I will discuss how we've protected the town from the spiders and how we released how you, I wasn't as valiant, released the trout spirit by
And,
sacrificing
what?
the taint-filled humans. Should we correlate that those are two things that were together, or should we say that they were separate events?
Weaver's web reaches wide.
And she tries to repeat that.
The trout spirit was a spider. Spiders were spiders.
Okay, I can do that.
By Thursday, it also some of the gossip comes to the Gilded Apple of the town, and apparently there are a couple of bounty hunters that have come into the city from Mexico and parts further south. And apparently there is a criminal of some sort that has infiltrated the upper echelons of the city.
We heard about this on Thursday.
By Thursday, all of you have heard about the gossip in the town.
Would I have heard about this black-haired woman that Kora's going after?
Probably, yeah.
So then I would propose the question to the men in the room without Kora. Should I mention our new players? Our bounty hunters? And the black-haired woman? At the meeting?
Look at Walks with Spirits. I look at artists. Look at Walks with Spirits. Look at artists.
Perhaps the black-haired woman? The new people aren't part of our story yet.
Yep. Black-haired woman it is. So I have 4 points now.
Save it to be continued.
Save it to be continued.
Perhaps if no one else knows of it, we can share, but it's not part of our story.
It's not something that we should be concerned about?
It's not something we've done.
All right. And she holds her 4 fingers to make sure she doesn't forget. All right. I think I might be ready.
All right. So, Jen, Walks with Spirits, and I were the audience, and Atika, just go ahead.
She stands up and she continues to hold her full 4 fingers, and she basically does a turnaround to get into character, and does a very overly long introduction of who she is and her tribe. I'm like, hi everyone, let's all be friends, which is totally unnecessary. And it goes on for about a good 6 minutes, and I introduce everyone in depth, Walks with Spirits, Kora, everyone. I start talking about the church. I start talking about how nice the town is. Anyone gonna cut me off at any point and get to the point? No, just gonna go for it. Cool.
Your stage.
Cool. And then about 10 minutes into the practice round, she takes a deep breath and says, and to update everybody, and she blinks a little bit. There was a fire? And she's searching for any reaction. There was a fire.
No.
Oh, dang, I messed up already.
Call to fire.
There was a call to fire, and you're making hand motions like she can see it.
I am. He is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm looking at him. I'm like,
Oh.
No, she can't. And I start waving. She can't.
Spiders.
And there were spider Texan spiders who were defeated by everyone else except me because I was busy.
Oh no, you were there. You were there. You fought.
I was. I know I was
remember
there, but
you were there. I don't remember you doing it.
I know, but I didn't defeat any of them. I was just there.
Yeah, you were there. You were there. Kora. Oh, you gotta talk about Kora. Kora was and just slicing, and oh my gosh, I've never. He was.
I didn't catch all of it, but you said she was slicing and.
Oh yeah, she was. Don't you? I was gonna say something, then I realized. Yeah, no. Of course you didn't see, but yeah, she was all over the place. She was there just hacking away. I look around, making sure that it's not being overheard in the crowd.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was just hacking and slashing away at these spiders. These poor little spiders had no.
So
eh,
she was. I mean, I
They were,
realized that
they
you
were
guys were working together, but she was kicking
they were
a
doing.
lot of spider butt.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were there.
I know I was there, but I was.
You weren't there though, and I point out Walks with Spirits, but yeah, it was our first encounter with the spiders.
Mm-hmm. And they are part of and she's trying so hard to remember that script that Walks with Spirits gave her. They're weaving a web larger than life, and she's like, mm. And
You
there
sound
was
a lot like Walks with Spirits when you said that.
and that's the best thing that she's ever heard. So
Like-
she gets like all.
Like
Now she's confident.
If I had my eyes closed and everything, I would think it was Walks with Spirits that said that.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. And then she like straightens up to talk about the trout spirit that she definitely wasn't there for. And the spiders also affected the trout spirit, and we released it by sacrificing humans who were bad. Is there another word for bad that I could use, Walks?
Tainted?
Tainted.
Baneful?
The villains of this story. They're the villains of the story.
The villainous humans.
A little redundant, but yes.
Okay. And she just crawls back a little bit. Just like, a little redundant.
There is the faint sound of howls coming from the hills. And that is the call that they are starting.
I think we have to go.
If you get nervous, just don't forget you have that bacon.
And she puts her hand delicately over her pocket, and she says very warmly, "Thank you."
Wait. There's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really go to these things too much, you know. But you have to do all this, I think, same way, but not like this. You got this. Like this, but you got this. Don't worry. I think, right? Why Walks with Spirits? I don't know.
It is like the man in the front of your church. Talk with authority. You will be telling the story. We did great things, and you will tell them well.
Yeah, proud, both stuff. But make sure you don't look like this either, though. But
she straightens her back, runs to the bar counter, asks for a shot very quickly of whiskey, takes it, and then goes back to where she's going. Yes, I'm ready now. And with all the authority that she can muster, she says that.
Okay. How are you guys getting out to the cairn?
I'm
How long would it take to walk?
About an hour.
Why not? What else do we have?
Two
horses?
legs.
Ooh. 2 legs. How long would it take on 4 legs?
Probably about 20 minutes at the most.
I'm walking on 2 legs.
Okay.
Walks? Are you walking?
It is what I do.
All right. Then I guess we're all walking.
Yep.
Unless we know that we'll be late, otherwise.
Are we gonna be late?
No, the moot doesn't really get started until the evening anyway.
Got my
So then
bacon.
we're Christopher walking there.
Got my bacon, and yes, I don't know who this Christopher is, but yeah.
At one point,
Mhm.
Artist tries to slow down to drop the bacon out of her pocket without Pippin noticing. But also, she cannot see if he's looking.
Correct.
3
So-
sessions later, Pepper will find that bacon. It's like,
How can I roll to see if I could get it out of my pocket without him noticing?
Without him noticing?
Yeah.
man.
Oof.
Oof is right. Oof is right.
It's
I got
definitely
good
going to be a stealth check.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
uh,
Yep. Yeah, I figured that might be it.
That you have none of.
No, none.
And because you are trying to be cognitive of where he is,
Mhm.
it's going to be perception.
Okay. So three
3
10-sided,
dice.
right?
Yep, because you can't see him. It's going to raise your difficulty. So you're going to need to roll 3 dice, 3 10-siders.
Mhm.
8 or higher is going to be your success threshold.
Wow.
All right. That's a 7. That's a 2. And that's a 6.
Okay. So you're walking. You have your hand on Walker's Spirit's shoulder. You've kind of moved your head, tilted your head from side to side. You don't hear where Pepe is, so you're pretty sure he's up ahead or far enough behind that you can take the chance now. And you slide your hand into what is now a soggy pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And like a snail, you pull out this tendril of pocket bacon, and you just very ladylike, discreetly just kind of slide your hand down next to your body and just drop it. Pepe, because there was no successes at all, you can choose whether or not you want to see her have dropped this bacon.
You dropped it on my shoe. My boot.
Okay.
That's how I found out. Yeah. Letting good food go to waste.
And like from
So-
toe to forehead, completely beet red.
It's okay. It's okay. No worries. I know you're
That-
nervous. Your hands are in your pockets, and you don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm telling you, you got this. By the way, this is it's even better. You added some seasoning now with my boot and
Adobo.
that.
Adobo.
And I take a bite and I'm like, good. Don't worry. I'll hold on to it for you. It's here in my pocket in case you need it. Actually, no, this is the lucky bacon. You should put this in your pocket. I grab her hand so gently and respectful, and I place it in her hand.
And she has not said a single thing this whole time.
Mhm.
She's so embarrassed. And she just clasps the wet, now sandy bacon and says, "Thank you." It puts it in her pocket.
Are you okay? And I look at her and I'm serious. Are you okay? Can you do this? I grab her like gently by the shoulders, so she's facing me, and it's like, can you do this? Are you okay?
I can be at this meeting. I cannot eat this.
You don't have to eat it now. You just have it in your pocket for good luck.
Okay.
But can you do this meeting? Because
Yes, I can do the meeting.
the pack is relying and dependent on you. No pressure on your shoulders or anything. But
And then I feel the pressure of his shoulders on me.
Mm-hmm.
you know, we just want to make sure you can do this.
I can do this.
Okay.
I can do this.
You are the teller of stories, not the eater of bacon.
Thank you. That's a
Oh,
huge
the,
relief that
the
just
bacon's
washes
just for
over
good.
her.
The bacon's just for good luck.
I would rather you have it.
But pretend you're at church. You find peace at church. You told me when you sing,
I do.
right? And you sing and this and that, right?
So I should sing our report?
You can do that. I look
And
at
she's
Westwood Spirit. She can do that, right? She can make it into a howling thing.
However you will.
And I take off my hat. Obviously, she doesn't see that. And from around my neck, I take off my rosary. And I place it in her hand here. So you can feel comfort like you're back in church. This is very dear to me. This and I, we go way, way back.
She kind of rolls it in her hand so she feels. At first, she really didn't want to take whatever was going to be in his hand.
Right.
And what material is it made out of, Pepe? I'm guessing not plastic, but I just want to know what it is.
It's actually carved. It's wood. It's carved out of wood. A wooden rosary.
She gasps lightly and says, "Oh no, I can't take this."
No. You take this, and you have the lucky bacon, and you have this rosary, so you can feel at peace like you do every Sunday morning.
She
May I? And I gesture in some way as to put it around her neck.
She would not wear it around her neck, but she would take it and place it around her wrist.
Okay.
So she would wrap it around and then keep it on her hand, and then she would kind of just like play with the crucifix at the end. And she thanks him meekly, but is very moved by the sentiment of this token of strength. So she picks her little shoes up and kind of gets this valiant pep in her step and moves forward very, like, without walks. She's just like, not that she knows where she's going, but she just starts up again.
I elbow walks with spirits. I'm like, she's got this. We're good. Do this. Although she might be going in the wrong direction, though.
Oh, she 100% probably is.
She
But
is.
she's doing it really, really strong and wrong.
Hopefully she hears that to head in our direction.
Yep. Wherever it is, she just, like, it's like a pivot, but with the same motion.
Okay. So you're letting go of Walks' shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, every so often you will hear them coughing out loud to get you to change your trajectory. And as you arrive at the cairn proper, you will notice that there are a bunch of wolves gathered. There easily looks to be about 3 or 4 dozen wolves, and almost a dozen humans. These look like there's a lot of the kinfolk around. So a majority of these aren't going to be Guru. But you do see familiar faces like Calls to Fire. You see Charlie. You see a couple of people that you recognize from the moment you were introduced, like the Master of Howls, the Red Talon Arun, the what's it called? The Warder, which is the Shadow Lord, who is the doctor in the town, and a couple of other familiar wolves. But the mood gets started. Excuse me. And You see that they start with a traditional howl to call out the spirit of the cairn, and it is almost like a dirge, so the sadness that they use to call the cairn spirit out. But you see, after the howl comes to a close, there is a shadow that shoots across the cairn, and there is the paw of a bird of prey, like an eagle or a falcon, and slowly you hear the flutter of wings, and perched atop this massive tree in the center of the cairn is this glorious looking falcon, this amalgam of a falcon and an eagle, very majestic looking, very stoically kind of sitting like a statue. It just sits there and looks down at the cairn proper. Once they call the cairn spirit into the world, they get started with any introductions. You see that there is a uh, a messenger from the Silent Striders that is passing through on his way back east to New York from the California kind of expanse. And other than that, there's no new people to really kind of get to know. They bring up Charlie to the forefront, and they ask if he has completed the rite of passage that they set out for him to do. And he looks worse for wear. He is bruised, even with his regeneration. There are some new kind of scars that are tracing along parts of his back. And he has whatever innocence there was in him when Walks with Spirits knew him or met him for the first time is mostly gone. Like, he has seen some shit. And he pulls a small leather bag from his belt and he opens it to reveal a heart-shaped crystal that looks like ice. And the elders all look at it. The Theurge, where is he? The Truth Catcher. No, not the Truth Catcher, sorry. There is no Keeper of the Rights in the thing. So, yeah, so it would be the Truth Catcher. The Truth Catcher steps forward, takes a look at it, and you see with a kind of respect, it opens its dog-like, wolf-like jaw, grabs the ice heart from him, and places it as an offering to the alpha of the cairn. There's a moment where the alpha looks at it, looks at Charlie, and then it barks out. 2 legs. Proven. Strong. Pack. Survives. Accept it. It nods. Cub, no more. Cleath. Joy. And everybody just starts to howl. There's cheering from those that are human. But everyone's pretty much excited by the fact that there is a new member of the of the Cairn. Excuse me. They call up the first of the two packs that patrol the Sept grounds and the kind of Colorado territory where the Cairn exists. They tell their story. You notice that their Galliard steps up in wolf form and begins to tell their story as a howl. And it is epic and equal parts heroic and tragic. And once he's done the last kind of bit that he howls out of a story, you notice that the elders howl out again, almost respectfully mimicking it. And there's a nod, and the wolf steps off. The second pack is brought on. Their Galliard, also in lupus form, steps up and begins his howl of recollection, recounting the story of what they've done and what they've seen. And again, the last little bit, almost like this is the format. The last little bit that kind of wraps everything up. The elders all howl in a mimic. And then the truth catcher, a child of Gaia Philodox named Twice-Born Fury. You know her, because you are now meeting her in her wolf form. Artists would know her in her Hamid form, because that is the doctor's nurse, Beatrice Marie Noble. But Twice-Born Fury howls out for your pack to present your Galliard.
Now,
I'm sorry. Beatrice Marie Noble.
Beatrice Marie Noble, the nurse.
Nurse, and what's her?
Her guru name is Twice-Born Fury.
Twice-Born Fury. Shit.
So, Chewy, question. Yeah. When I enter this meeting, can I already feel people uncomfortable with my presence as a Metis?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So, I don't think... I'm wondering if it will help or hurt to be in wolf form for this speech.
Up to you.
I know it is. And that's what I mean, I'm already hurting myself because I'm a Metis in general. But
correct.
At least it's not the rest of them hurting you yet.
You what?
At least it's not the rest of them hurting you yet.
That's true. I will attempt to present myself in... Fuck it, I'm gonna do it in Hobbit form. They already don't like me.
Okay. So, you step up to this stage area that is very clearly for use in declarations, in moods like this, in the more traditional sense. And you are led up onto stage. And immediately, the moment that you take the stage in your Hamid form, there's Pepe and Walks notice that everybody kind of looks at each other. There's a lot of body language that shows a distrust of what is happening. Some of the Hamid kinfolk that are there, there's some that are intrigued by what's happening, and there's some that are just kind of looking towards the alpha with concern. And the truth catcher, you see her shift out of her lupus form into her Hamid form. She stands next to you and she says, "All right, dear. If this is how you're going to address them, please know that they might not respectfully follow in your denouement, as it would. Just
It's
be
all
aware of
right.
that."
I was aware of it the moment I walked into this place.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. And she shifts back down into her lupus form, and she howls out the announcement of who you are, and everyone hears in the Garou tongue just Artis, Stargazer, Galliard, Cleath, and then you can feel her padding away, giving you the stage.
Should I roll for how I speak or how it goes, or should I just?
You can, if you'd like to.
Mhm.
I have set aside a table of the max amount of renown that your group can win.
Okay.
I use the term very loosely.
Mm-hmm.
But if you would like to go through it, stage is yours.
I would like to go through the story or for
Yeah.
rolling.
No, go. What do you want to do? Because you can take us through a narration where you go
Mm-hmm.
through the story
Mm-hmm.
vocally, or you could choose to just skip it and just let the dice land where they might.
I want the dice to do it.
Okay.
Let's fucking do it.
Okay, so you're gonna choose either charisma or manipulation.
Okay.
And you're
Charisma, I
gonna
have 4. So I'll do charisma.
okay. And then you're gonna add performance to that.
Which is just 1.
So
Okay, so 5.
5 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And then just let me know the numbers you get.
What's the threshold? I don't know the numbers.
You will not know the threshold.
Is there any way that we might contribute by, for instance, in the same way that there was a bit of call and response with the other wolves when they were in the wolf form, at least at the end? We fill that role to make sure that she's not speaking to dead air.
You can, if you choose to.
Look at you, Mox. Love you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
throw some support.
That would
Let me get the rest of
be
the dice.
that would force you both to also use charisma and performance.
Let's do it together.
Now it can be all of our fault.
Yeah.
Charisma and performance. Well, good thing I'm rolling up 5 dice here.
All right. Let's fucking do it.
Yep.
That was a little bit of shit, but all right.
Okay.
I got
Okay, 2 7s,
2
2
7s.
2s, and a 1.
Okay.
it's just charisma and performance, right?
Just charisma and performance. Let me know what you rolled on your dice.
Done. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 10.
Okay. And walks.
9, 8, and 2.
Okay. So artist steps forward and just Anybody that doesn't know how you prepared for this, it just kind of looks like a nervous tick of you kind of rubbing each finger individually as you're telling the story, and as you shift subjects, you switch to your next finger. Um, you're trying to hit all of the targets that you were told to kind of hit. You talk about a coyote, you talk about a red talon, some fire, you talk about a black haired woman, a trout, and there you can hear some of the members of the cairn snickering. There is definitely a level of disrespect that you can feel in the vibe of the gathered. Uh, you don't know if it's because you're in your Hamid form. You don't know if it's because you're a Metis. You don't know if it's just because you are who you are, um, or you're with the pack that you're with. But there's just this very rough crowd. It is like by the time you get to the wrap up, you feel like a comedian who has bombed. And as your voice is shaking and you get to the last little bit, you are uh, your fears are rebuked the moment you hear Walks with Spirits and Pepe kind of echo the words that you say as you end your thing. Uh, and then you hear the truth caller howl out that this portion of the mood is over. And then everybody goes on about the moot. They bring you off the stage. They bring you back to where the rest of your pack is, and you can feel the cold nuzzle of some uh, snout come up and kind of slowly let you know that they're there before pulling their whole head into your hand. Uh, Walks and Pepe can see that Calls to Fire has come over to show his thanks for being mentioned in your story.
So you are who I've been told about. She pets him very gently.
Yeah, you can feel him nod.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And she feels a absolute relief that at least one additional person in this place, other than Pepe and Walks, doesn't think that she's a fucking idiot.
Uh,
Oh,
after,
and
yeah,
the moment that his like snout is near me, I take out the pocket bacon and I give it to
he eats it.
him. Does he
But
like it?
no,
Lucky bacon. Oh man.
That's
yeah,
perfect. No, he does not like it. All right. Well, I
nope.
tried.
It's bacon. It's almost jerky.
Yeah,
Andy
yeah.
bacon.
But after you give him the bacon, he kind of sits there, he eats it, walks, and Pepe see him kind of herk, like he's trying to not vomit it out, to be respectful to her, and he just kind of nods at the two of you. You see him walk off in a direction, and then once he's by a tree, you see him start to kind of dig a hole, and then he does vomit the bacon out and bury it.
Oh no. I mean, artist doesn't know, but oh no.
I don't know what's going on with Call to Fire. Must have been something here. Who knows?
He was very nice, and I felt very brave because of your rosary and because of both of your loudness. Thank you both. And she puts her head on Pippa's shoulder and reaches out to hold Walk's hand because she's kind of like dead after all that speaking in a place where people hated them.
I pat her. I pat her on the back.
Kora would be proud.
Or I would
I
be
hope
proud.
so.
Yes, she would.
You told our story well.
And she's trying not to cry.
Yeah. Okay, the night is young.
I told you, Chica, you got this. Told you. With the bacon, nothing can go wrong.
There's
Yes, with bacon, nothing can go wrong.
There comes the time that everyone finishes their business at the moot. A lot of it has nothing to do with your group since you've been chosen to protect the city. It's mostly all centered around the packs that are guarding and patrolling the wilderness. But you notice as everybody's kind of getting into the festivities of it, a large red and brown wolf comes over from the elder's little dais and Walks recognizes this as the master of the challenge. It is a red talon Arun named Rends the Flesh. He comes over. Rends the Flesh.
Okay.
He comes over, looks at the three of you. Where is your alpha?
She's away following the black-haired woman that I mentioned. I'm representing everyone tonight.
See.
Is there something that I can tell her for you?
No.
Can I help you?
No. And then it looks up at Walks and at Pepe. And it just nods. And it walks back over to the dais with the rest of the elders.
Would this have been like a regular planned event, or the moots kind of ad hoc?
The
Would Kora have
moots,
known
no, the moots
leaving?
are planned.
Would it be a huge sign of disrespect for her to have left?
When I have
Right
shown up,
before?
yeah. But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there is festivities well into the night. You're allowed to go whenever you want once the mood is actually over. But you notice that they do bring out freshly killed
Bacon?
No. There is a deer, there is a stag, there's a buffalo that they are incredibly excited about having caught. Excuse me, because it is massive. And there's also some fish that Pulse to Fire and his kinfolk have brought in, thanks to what you have helped to do with the trout. And he is not shy about telling people that the only reason their fish is that they have trout is because of you and your pack.
I'm starting to notice like we're on on a 50-50 level here. Like we've done good stuff, and then there's like negative stuff of Kora not being there and everything.
Mhm.
I
He's
would make sure to go greet Charlie and
Okay.
congratulate him as another Wendigo Theurge, and there not being an Elder Theurge here. I kind of took him under my wing a little bit. I think he came to visit me a few times in the cemetery to find out what
Yeah.
that ritual was all about.
And he also did come to ask you your guidance on after being given his rite of passage. And he tells you that um, you know, he tries to force a smile with you once you come up to him. And he kind of points at the the heart of ice that has been put on display for everyone to see. Uh, and he kind of looks. He's like, I was given my Guru name because of you. I want to thank you for that.
How do I call you now?
Uh, they call me from the snow.
An auspicious name. Congratulations.
It's because of you and because of Wendigo that I survived.
I've never seen such a thing as this ice heart. Where is it from?
There's a mountain in the north that they sent me to, and I had to pull it from uh, the largest ice bear I could find
Mm.
that I could kill. I feel like I could have brought a bigger one, but there's not enough crescent moons, I think, that they kind of let it slide.
No, no. You did well. Growing into a fine man. I'm sure
Well,
you'll make great contributions to the Cairn.
the way the master of the challenge has put it, I should have died fighting this bear.
That is the way of a master of challenge. He looks for death and finds it.
Maybe it's just the red talon in him.
Well, they don't call him Ren's the Flesh for nothing.
Yeah. And you see that he has a plate with some of the stag and a couple slices of the buffalo meat, and he has taken a bite out of each of them, but he's not eating.
You'll get your hunger back when you rest up some. Don't be too worried.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And he just stares off into the distance.
I'll keep him company some and then go and mingle a little more.
Okay. Is Pepe hanging out with anybody? Or you just kind of keep artists company?
Yeah, I just if artist sticks around, then yeah, I'm keeping her company because Pepe's not really too fond of the moods and being around with a lot of the gurus and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Artis pats his hand and says, "You don't have to hang around just for me. I know that you would really enjoy a lot of the meat that's out there. You can go eat." I'll
No,
be
no,
okay.
I'm gonna wait till they're done over there eating, and I'll pick up some scraps. Plus, and like I told you
No,
earlier,
no, 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 no,
need
no.
to,
And
I need to stock up my pockets later.
but you don't deserve scraps. We came all the way out here. There's a big feast. No scraps. You should go.
You should eat and fill your belly after your stunning performance and everything.
She contemplates going and speaking to anybody else, and she kind of
It's okay.
votes against it in her own head. So, but she knows that if she doesn't leave Pepe, then he won't go to the food, and also she wants him to do that. So she holds on to the rosary and says, "I'm going to go meet up with a friend really quickly. So why don't you enjoy the feast?"
Okay, if you need to use the bathroom, it's okay. You can just tell me.
We don't know. No.
You don't have to make an excuse. If you don't want to hang out with me, I get it. I get it, Chica. You want to do your thing, be by yourself. It's okay. I'll save you some. I'll save you and walk some with spirit some meat.
I'll see you in a little bit.
I'll save some. I'll bring some back to Kora too. I'm sure she.
That's a good idea. I can be in charge of taking it to her. I can. I'll do that. She says very loudly, like too loud. Like, I'll do it.
I'm going there now. You're coming with me then.
I can do it in a little bit. You first. You get first pick.
Okay.
And she
Sure.
kind of just like backs up. She doesn't know where she's going. She's just letting him do his thing.
I walk towards the spread of meat. Every so often, I look back to check up on artists. I know that.
Yeah, she is meandering about. People are trying to get out of her way. Trying not to bump into her.
I just like nod my head.
Is there anywhere that she can find that she could be sitting on like the outskirts of this party?
Ooh. Using
Like not, yeah.
your feet to kind of tap around. Give me a perception and survival check.
Perception and survival. Let's see.
4 dice.
4. Yay. Well, doesn't mean shit if I roll shit.
Correct.
3 5, 3 3s and a 5.
Okay. You walk around, and at one point you just hear this yelp as you tap your foot into what was a lupus that wasn't paying attention, and you see it immediately turn around and just bark at you.
And she apologizes profusely. And probably, I would say that the bark startles her so much that she falls on her ass.
Yeah, and you can see that there's a growling, and then you hear 3 more growling around you. You can feel them getting closer to you, and there's this antagonizing, bestial sensation. These are not Guru. These are kinfolk.
Great.
And so they don't have the same understanding of the beast tongue as you do.
Okay. So I can't understand them.
No, it's rough. I don't think Artis would have spent a lot of time in her lupus form. Pepe, if you could give me a perception and alertness roll to notice this, and Walks too.
All right, let's see.
Ooh, if I die with Kora not here.
Mm,
Uh,
she
3,
will
4, 5, 8.
Yes.
she will hate you. Difficulty is going to be 6 for both of you.
I got 4, 3, 4, 3, 5, 8.
So 1 success.
10, 7, 7, 6, 6, 3.
Okay. Yeah, 5
I
successes.
know exactly what's happened.
Yeah, so Walks
Jesus.
definitely notices that. Pepe hears the growling, doesn't know why. There's barking and growling coming from the outskirts of the moot. But Walks saw the whole situation play out, and you could see that she was just looking for a place to sit, and it has since become the situation where she has inadvertently kicked a lupus kinfolk that looks to be red talon from the coloration of the fur. And the moment that she kind of falls back onto her butt, the rest of its pack has kind of stepped forward, almost like this was a challenge for Alpha.
So I was over talking with someone from the Ravens pack,
Mhm.
about the story that they told, and I rush over, shifting
Walks
into
finally
this.
cares about me?
You're an abomination, but you're part of my
Wow. I
I love
mean,
that. I love that. You're a piece of shit, but you're still my friend.
But you're my piece of shit.
Yeah.
family. These
Yeah.
are rules and societal constructs that we live by.
Hmm.
Just because your parents disgraced the litany doesn't mean,
I didn't do it.
I know, I know.
he did
Just
say your parents. He said your
oh
parents.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
never constant reminder of. So yeah, I'm gonna try to drop down to Lupus as I excuse myself from the Ravens pack and
Okay.
head over to meet the Red Talons at their own stance.
Yeah. Even though you are Theurge, and even though you're not in a rune, you're not lupus born, you're still bigger than they are. Like they're wolves. They're regular wolves at the end of the day. You are still Guru. And you roll up, there's a good almost 6 inches eye level difference between their alpha and you. And the moment you kind of step up in between them and Artis, you hear the other three immediately stop and then just kind of bow their head. And then they just avoid your eye contact. Um, the one that was kicked, though, still kind of is now shifting so that he can see both you and Artis, and just kind of he has stopped moving in on her, but he is still kind of growling, his hair still standing up. And
Healer, you are injured? I try to give him a most patronizing way of seeing how horribly hurt he must have been. He
yeah,
must need severe attention, from this girl stepping on his tail.
and there's a moment where it looks like it's about to snap at you. And you hear the clamp of this hispo red talon just kind of grab the scruff of its neck, and just like a parent scolding a cub, it just kind of clamps down and grabs and pulls up, and you immediately hear it yelp. And this you recognize is the Cairn's Alpha, bound by Fury. And there's a moment where it kind of lifts it up completely off the ground and then it just whips its head over, and you hear the wolf kind of yelp as it hits the ground, and then it just starts to back away. And the alpha shifts down slowly, melting from this monstrous, almost 7-foot tall hispo down into his wolf form, and he has 6 inches on you of height. And he looks at you. He turns to Artis, and turns back to you, since you're the one with eyes. Keep your distance.
He just nods.
Yes, sir.
Very small.
And he starts to pad back towards the meat.
Artist,
I nuzzle up to try to guide her back to her feet.
Yep. And there's a pair of hands that comes over on the other side that Walks is not on. And you hear the familiar voice of Doc from town. He's like, all right, well, I think it's time for you and your boys to leave. It isn't good to get on the bad side of a Red Talon Arun, least of all the Cairns Alpha. You need help getting back?
oh no.
I guess I'm Miss Noble with you.
Only if she wants to. We're okay to go back on our own so that you can continue in the party.
Up to you. And you can feel like his hand checking your head, like moving your neck so that he can see. Are you hurt? Are you all right?
I'm all right. I just made a silly mistake.
All right. If you need a walking cane, you let me know and I'll make one for you.
Thank you. She's a little too shaken to say anything else, and kind of just leans on Walks.
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt your party, did I? Or your enjoyment?
All good.
Okay.
And you see him, Doc kind of motions and he calls over. He's looking straight at Pepe.
Wait, baby.
Dolcio!
I tip my head and wave hi at the dog, and I continue like going at the spread and stick like
And he
I
just
shove
shakes
my
his head.
face
He
and
just
sticks them
shakes
in
his
my
head and
pocket.
he's just like, no, come here.
I get before I leave, I make like I do one of those. Like as I'm leaving, I grab some from the table without just like some more meat.
Yeah. But he's like, yeah, I think it's best that your group take off.
Really? Why is that? Are we too much to party with?
There's a lot of talk going around about why your group's Arun is not here, why the next person in charge of your group would be your Metis, which is no offense to you, madam, but it's an abomination.
And she completely shrinks.
So
Oh, well, our
you're
Arun
not
is
making
doing
friends.
Arun's doing Arun things. You know.
Cool. It is old as time.
This is why I don't like these type of gatherings.
You also notice, especially from Pepe's perspective, the whole group of elders is comprised of every single auspice except Ragabash.
Wait, I thought they also didn't have a theurge.
And they don't have a theurge.
Oh, but
Yeah, there is no keeper of the right. So the entire group of elders is just Aruns, Galliards, and Philodoxes.
It's a good note to make. Ragabash in big capital letters. Got it.
No coyote here.
Mhm.
All war. No fun.
Well, the life of the party and his amigo and amiga are out of here. By the way,
Artist doesn't say anything for the entire way home. She's just gonna follow and not make any more waves.
Okay. By the time you get back to the Gilded Apple, excuse me, you see that there is a male and a female that you don't recognize from the town. They're not dressed like they are from this area either. There's a different kind of cut to their pants. There's a different styling to their shirts, and they both look tan, almost like a very light cafe con leche.
like Pepe, somewhat a little bit lighter.
They're the male is a shade darker, the female is a shade lighter. So like if you wanted to see the transition from a darker shade to a lighter shade, Pepe would be in the center between both of them.
Okay. And they're in the Gilded Apple?
They're in the Gilded Apple, they're drinking, they're talking to Garrett. But he knows not to question your comings and goings. He just kind of like nods in your direction as you enter.
I just nod at Garrett.
I think Artist would silently go up to the bar and just sit
Okay.
and see what will be either served to her, be it food or alcohol.
What does
I
Washer do?
go up to Walker's first. You think she's okay? It was kind of rough at the end over there. She hasn't said a word.
You will need to get used to it. This is how life will be. As we get renown, perhaps.
Did we get any?
You will. I'll handle that off camera.
Got it.
Okay.
There's a ritual to it, Not for prying eyes.
Excuse me.
It's just
Jesus.
the minutia of it isn't really audience worthy, so we'll
It's
just
not.
keep pushing the story.
Do it.
Okay. I'm.
New people?
What you think? I'm gonna go sit with her and make sure she's okay.
New people?
And I look at what. Maybe I've never seen him. Kora will probably know. She knows this town more than I do. I recently arrived, just like most of us.
Haven't seen them pass by the cemetery in the past month.
Not at all.
I don't think they've been in here.
They are definitely not faces you've seen in the Gilded Apple.
I'll keep my eyes open just in case.
I'll keep to myself at a table and give artist her space.
Okay. So, excuse me. Once at the bar, Artist feels somebody sitting next to her. Garrett comes over. Hello, Miss Artist. Mr. Pepe, can I get you both a drink?
I'll have whatever anyone else is having. She says it just like that.
All right. One of
Give
those
him,
nights, I guess.
give her something good there, Garrett.
For you?
I'm good right now.
All right. Cool. And he goes over. You see him kind of shake a couple of the brown bottles until he finds one that he likes. He comes over. You hear him slam a shot glass in front of Artis. You can hear the pouring of a clear liquid, and then you hear that thump of him stopping it, and then he slides both the bottle and the shot glass forward, and then he grabs Artis's hands so he can put them on top of each. So he puts one hand on top of the shot glass, one hand around the bottle. Like, I've had nights like yours, Miss Artis, so I figured this is one of those bottles that we can write off in case you need to blow off some steam.
The she's never like had someone just hand her the whole thing. So it's like a small gasp to realize that she's now in control of the quantity
Mhm.
instead of somebody else.
I mean, at most, there's 3 fingers of liquor in the bottle, but
Yes, but she's like 5'2" and
yeah,
small.
Mhm.
She's
she's also Irish.
she is also Irish, so she's done a couple of shots. She smiles. She musters as small of a smile as she can get, and says, "Thank you, Garrett. You always take care of me." And she tries not to make a face, takes a deep breath, holds it, and takes a shot.
Okay. You see, Garrett looks over at Bebe. He's like, I trust that you will take care of the situation if it gets too out of hand. But you let me know if you need anything. We'll be talking to our friends over there. And he leans down close to the two of you. He's like, they're bounty hunters from out of town. They're the ones hunting that criminal.
And who is this criminal?
I don't know. Still trying to figure it out. They're kind of tight-lipped.
With this news, Artis hiccups and then leans over to Pepe and says, "Should we try to infiltrate?"
Infiltrate? What are you talking about? Infiltrate me? Huh?
Should we try to gain information?
Information? No, Garrett's doing a good job doing that, aren't you, Garrett?
I mean, I'm trying. You know, they're pretty wily.
He uncorks the thing.
Yeah.
Lines up the shot glass with the rim, tips it, and then takes another shot. And rolls her shoulders and says, "I'm gonna do something tonight, and I know I can do it." And she takes another shot, like one more.
When the Ragabash has fear in his eyes, you know you're on the right track.
Time to. We're gonna get this party started. Okay.
Right. So, what is Artis gonna do? 3 shots of gin into the night.
How many seats away is she? She asks Garrett this. Oh, I thought you were actually taking a shot, Donald. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Solidarity, bro.
Oh damn.
Everybody take a shot.
She waves Garrett over to ask, where are they? In relation to her, where are they?
He looks at you. You don't see him, but he kind of looks over. He's all right. If you go straight to your left, follow the curve of the bar, you're gonna count 8 seats, and that'll put you right next to the woman.
Okay.
Be aware that from what I've heard, and from what I've gotten from them at least, the man is named Herman. The woman is called Patricia, but Erman, he said. I think it's just a fancy way of saying Herman. I think her name is Patricia, but she uses the kind of Spanish S at the end.
Patricia.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Not a problem. Get it. We'll take it from here.
That sounds good. And he
Has
kind of,
Pepe
you
had
hear
anything to
him.
drink at all?
No, not at all.
No.
But he does have a flask. You've heard him shaking something in a metallic container. But you see Gary kind of come over to them, and he's like, "You're in luck. One of my boss's associates are actually here, and they've made mention of wanting to meet you. They might have information for you." And he kind of motions. And you see as Artis is getting up, you can hear the sound of their stools being pushed, and you hear them walking towards you.
She like hops out of the fucking seat, and with this very newfound confidence, where she failed in the moot,
Mm-hmm.
she wants to succeed desperately here,
Okay.
and she channels every ounce of Kora when she walks up to them, and she stops when she hears them as like close enough, and juts out her hand. Hello.
You feel a massive, what must be masculine hand kind of grab your hand and shake it. Hello. You are associates of this man's boss? Yes?
Yes, I am. I'm, in fact, her second in command.
Oh, good.
How
good.
can I help you?
And you hear him fumbling with something. Pepe sees him unfurl a wanted poster, and he's like, "Have you seen this man? We are looking for him."
I look at the wanted poster.
Not a face you've seen.
I whisper to Pepe, "Is this someone that we've seen?"
And I just lean over and whisper in her ear, "No."
I let go of the super massive.
Right in front of both of them. It doesn't matter. It's like,
Yep.
No, we're unfamiliar with this man. What are you looking? Why are you looking for him?
You see both of them look at each other as you two have your moment. And the woman kind of raises an eyebrow as she takes a step behind him. And you see that you've lost sight of her left hand. Walks, however, has a good view of both of them. And he can see that her hand has shifted her jacket back so that she has clear reach of her gun. But the gentleman kind of looks at the two of you. Forgive me, but is there a problem with the picture?
Oh, no. It's just that I can't see pictures. And she says it very genuinely. Like, I have to make sure that I get a little bit of help sometimes. But I'm more than capable of giving you any information about people that we've met. But we haven't met this person.
Pepe and Walks both see him kind of bring his hand up and snap it in front of her face really quickly.
I get up. I stand up from the stool.
Yeah.
When he does that, and I immediately stand next to her, somewhat behind her, almost like Patricia is doing also.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it.
My other hand, and my other hand, like, so they don't see that my hand is already on my gun as well because Artis is in the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
I wouldn't withhold any information from a bounty hunter.
Okay. I see that we have gotten off on the wrong foot. I apologize. Maybe we come back when Kora is here.
Do I recognize the accent?
It sounds like it's been through Mexico, but it sounds further south.
No eres de Mexico, eh?
AIs. See.
I look at her.
She nods.
I look back at him. ¿Qué parte?
Ella es de Monterrey. Yo soy de Brasil.
Wow, it's really soft, Chewy, when you said soft. Shit, I was not expecting Brazil. I was thinking more Central America, maybe Salvador or Guatemala, you know?
Yep.
Shit.
And she kind of steps forward. ¿Eres del sur?
Sí.
¿Qué parte?
Hold on. Honestly, shit. I was the where was it again, Joe?
Are you from Beach?
Right?
South Beach. No. Where's? Yeah, because I wouldn't know actually.
Yeah. The church.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't know. What part was that?
Yeah. You just know that it was the
Yeah.
Iglesia San Lázaro.
Yeah, that's it. It's a small pueblo. Un pueblo. Soy del pueblo de San Lázaro.
She just shakes her head.
Shakes her head.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not that I would know
Yeah.
anything that's going on.
But
I don't even
there's
understand the language.
yeah, no, you don't even understand the language. Garrett's trying to follow along as well, and he's like,
Yeah, but I can't even see. I'm deaf and blind at this fucking point.
and you hear Garrett, I think that's Spanish. Are you speaking Spanish?
And then did she walk away from behind this dude from Haman, or is she still behind?
No,
him?
she's still behind him.
Is there any mirrors or anything behind her in this place?
Not on the first floor.
Oh, okay. I don't trust her. Because obviously, if I did the same thing, she's doing the same thing. So it's like,
Yeah.
Metis tries to be put a little bit more pressure and says, "Whatever you need from Kora, I'm able to provide. How can I help you?"
Walks is making his way to the bar now that the tension's diffused a little bit.
Okay.
But he wants to be moving in closer and not escalating by just standing and staring.
Yeah.
Fox?
As you get up to the group, you see that the double doors swing open, and you see this very light brown skinned male with this black raven like black hair, tied up in a ponytail that kind of comes around. You can see the tribal markings. He's got very simple linen vest, linen pants, and just like the same kind of moccasins that you would wear. But he's not your tribe. If you want to make a intelligence and we'll say survival.
Survival.
All of us, or just Walks?
No, just Walks or etiquette.
if I'm noticing the moccasins,
Mhm.
what crafts?
You can
So
do
what kind of
crafts.
animal it's from?
Yeah, sure.
So what's my
Say difficult because you're using that. We'll say it's difficulty 6.
Oh, I've got a straight 987654.
Nice. You recognize the craftsmanship, the way that they are formed and sewn together. It's very Apache. And he kind of comes walking in and he nods to you. Pepe feels a hand on his shoulder. Just kind of like it grabs and it squeezes twice, and he's just like, tranquilo, tranquilo. And you see the now clothed male that was the Nuisha kind of step around and join the two bounty hunters.
Wait a minute. He's the same dude that just walked in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, amigo. And I come up like with open arms. Hey.
And he kind of takes a step back, holds out his hand, and just kind of holds it out like for a shake. Hey, we're not that friendly, friend.
Yeah, we're pretty friendly. You know, we stories that I like. Leave with me.
But as the three of you are standing off in a non-aggressive manner against these other three, I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. So, as always, I would like to thank you guys for participating. I hope you guys are having a good time. I would like to thank the audience. As always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Get yourselves vaccinated if you haven't. Apparently, monkeypox is a thing, and that's two words that I would never thought I'd be putting together. But please, flu season's around the corner, so take care of yourselves there. Also, remember that it is okay to not be okay. So if you need help, please know that it is not a taboo or stigmatized topic. And if you want to get resources, there are phone numbers going up in our Twitch chat if you're watching live. They'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. So please, if you feel like you need help, just know that there are resources out there for you. And if you are a friend or family member of somebody that is strong or happy-go-lucky personality, please check in on them, because you never know how far a simple hello or how are you can change the trajectory of somebody's life. If you're not in the United States, there's a link going up so you can find the resources in your area. Because mental health is part of our general health. So just be aware that, like I said before, it's okay to not be okay. So if you feel like you need help, just know that there are resources out there, and there are people who will help you or try to help you get through it. We all have our demons, you know. We've been through a lot, and we're going to go through a lot. So, but as always, you can catch us here on Friday for our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. You can catch us on Monday for our Camarilla chapter of our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. Or you can catch us next week, where you can see one of our players come back for a very different character in our L5R Legend of the Five Rings story, which has been a fantastic, and interesting roller coaster of a ride. But if not, we will see you on the flip side. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, we will see you when we see you. Have a good night.